of a shot of winning. We can beat anybody in the world, and I think we're going to win next Sunday.
So, welcome back to the New York Jets Atlantic Flight Podcast. I'm your host, Gus, and wow, so it gives me great pleasure for the first time this season to say Happy Victory Monday. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, did they put us through it. Well, the Jets won the game 24-17. It looked very much early on as if we were going to be in for a great performance. Sorry, not great, I meant a repeat performance like the 49ers. All over again. Once again, we couldn't seem to stop the run, and particularly third downs as well. Stopping the pass also became an issue, surprisingly, as well. And at times, Will Levis, he just looked like a young Joe Montana out there. He's ripping our secondary to pieces. He didn't know what was coming, and very little pressure at all again. Unfortunately, the edge pressure was about to get even more weakened with the loss of Jermaine Johnson during the game. And early assessments from the game suggest that it is an Achilles injury. As yet, we don't know how long he'll be out for. Hopefully not long. I think we'll probably find out later on today. So Monday today, we should have it revealed how long he's going to be out for. But prayers are up for Jermaine Johnson, an integral part of our defence. I think you'll agree. Let's hope he's not out for long, especially the games that we've got coming up. Anyway, the Titans scored the first touchdown of the game with a pass from Will Levis to Calvin Ridley for a 10-yard gain. It was around the end and into the end zone. And one-time kicker, Nick Folk, remember him? He added the extra point. Shortly after this, the Jets levelled the score after an impressive drive from Rodgers. Excuse me. This came off the back of a Brandon Eccles interception. Eccles was standing in for an injured DJ Reed and has made the most of this opportunity. It's funny because when we get these stand-in players coming in, they always seem to make the opportunity count. If you remember last year against the Eagles, we had Sauce out, Reed out, and the two guys who I can't remember, one was Hayes and Trey Hayes and somebody else, can't remember who, but they also took their opportunity as well. So maybe we need to do this more often. I have to say, Sauce looked pretty much out of sorts this game. I'm not sure if there's an issue between him and Chuck Clark, some communication issue. There was, I'm trying to remember when it was. I think it was later in the game. There was, it was the Calvin Ridley touchdown, wasn't it? It looked like a complete miscommunication, but prior to that, it looked like, I think it was Chuck Clark was telling Sauce where to stand. He didn't even know where to stand. The defense, just before the ball was snapped, was in complete disarray. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know whether that's because we're missing CJ Mosley, who would organise any changes that needed to be made. So I'm not sure if that was Chuck Clark green dotting and organising that, but it looked a shambles. And then the Calvin Ridley touchdown, it looked like Sauce had it covered, and then you can see out of the corner of Sauce's eye, he can see a defender coming in, Chuck Clark, and he completely missed the tackle, and it went in for a score. So not too good. But anyway, Eccles, he took his interception well. He lost his helmet in the process as well. With 5:05 left on the clock in the second quarter, Rodgers found the rookie Braylon Allen, or Agent Zero as we now know him, for a 12-yard pass to hit pay dirt for the green and white. We should have gone into the half all level, but once again our usually reliable defence capitulated and ended up giving the Titans a chance to go ahead up 10-7, which they did, with a 41-yard field goal from that guy again, Mr. Reliable, Nick Folk. Why couldn't we have kept him? But anyway, Greg Zuerlein will do me. I think it's fair to say that many of us at this point were thinking the worst, even though Rodgers had great poise in the pocket on that touchdown drive. But to most people, his movement seemed a little bit stymied. I'm not talking physically, I'm talking about the game plan. It seemed that his instructions were to remain tightly in the pocket without trying to move out of it, even though he seemed perfectly capable of doing so. There were occasions where he held onto the ball way too long, and I reckon probably about 2 seconds, and he ended up taking a sack. and I'm still not over every time he gets pressure or contact, having my heart in my mouth. I'm not sure how long this will last, but I'm sure it has all of us on the edge of our seats. I'm sure. The third quarter pretty much carried on where the first half left off. A penalty-laden game on both sides. But once again, Aaron Rodgers showed he's a class act. And drove down the field and hit Breece Hall with a 26-yard pass. It was the most amazing grab. I think most wide receivers would have been proud of this one. It was an over-the-shoulder grab. I think Breece Hall was actually off his feet when he took it as well, but it was an incredible reception. If you haven't seen this, you need to see it. To think, this time last year, Nathaniel Hackett didn't know that Breece Hall could catch the ball still baffles me. And it was Greg Zuerlein again with the extra point. Shortly after this, both teams traded punts, but it was Earl Charles that came up big with the block. He punted it at the Tennessee 30-yard line. That's where we got the ball back. A lot of people frowned at Earl Charles being included in the 53, with a lot of people saying that they wanted Jason Brownlee. This is why you have Earl Charles making the team over Brownlee. Is what that player can give you the here and now, and not maybe. He was instrumental in special teams all night, especially kickoff team. He was going down and he was making some serious plays. Unbelievable. Very, very good special teams player. But all the Jets could manage to do on this particular drive was a 15-yard field goal from Greg Zuerlein to make it 17-7. And at that point, I personally started feeling a little bit more comfortable. But Tennessee weren't done yet. And the ever-impressive Calvin Ridley took a pass from Will Levis and he sliced through the Jets' defence for a 40-yard touchdown. Again, Nick Folk with the extra point. The start of the fourth quarter became a bit of a cagey affair with both teams punting twice to each other. I was joking at the time in the chat room. I was saying that Thomas Morstead's leg is going to be aching like anything today. So I hope he's okay with his leg. But with only 4:36 left in the fourth quarter, it was that man again, Aaron Rodgers, once again steering the Jets offense towards the Tennessee red zone, right to the 20-yard line. And it was the very impressive running back, Braylon Allen, who I can't believe he's a rookie the way he's playing. But once again, he found pay dirt after a powerful run 20 yards into the end zone. It wouldn't surprise me if Braylon Allen, Agent Zero, is going to get Offensive Rookie of the Week, or Pepsi Rookie of the Week, or whoever it is that's sponsoring it this year. The Titans took over with 4:14 left on the clock. At this point, I was starting to get nervous again in case what we've been seeing at the 49ers at the beginning of the game resurfaced again. But it wasn't to be, and they ended up turning the ball over on downs, which I was very glad to see. And then, how satisfying was it to see the Jets in victory formation at the end? How often have we seen that? Throughout this game, Jets Twitter was going backwards and forwards with the pros and cons of this game. But it's fair to say, I think, we would do a lot better if we had a much better offensive coordinator. The poor management of play clock was also a concern of mine, and we ended up burning timeouts, which for me is inexcusable. I really don't think Robert Saleh is a good head coach, and I really wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the year he was let go, unless things drastically improve, and that means a playoff run. I think probably even a deep playoff run. Personally, I think if we get to the playoffs and go out first round, I still think Salah would be let go, but that's just me. On to some stats. Rodgers finished the day with 18 completions for 30 attempts, so he had 9 more than he did against the 49ers. He got 176 yards with 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, which is good to see. Braylon Allen was super impressive all game, every time he was on the field. But he had 7 attempts for 33 yards with 1 touchdown, but he also had 2 receptions for 23 yards and 1 touchdown as well. Breece Hall rushed for 14 attempts for 62 yards, but at times I thought he looked a little bit laboured and tired, and I'm not sure if he's carrying a knock or it's playing the rust off those wheels from last year. Surprisingly, I can't get my head around this. If you told me this at the beginning of the game, I wouldn't have believed it. Garrett Wilson only had 4 receptions. Let that sink in. He only had 4 receptions for 57 yards. This guy needs to be in the game, and I'm not sure why Rodgers isn't hitting him more. But Garrett Wilson did make some very crucial catches. Talking of crucial catches, Mike Williams, he made an appearance. 1 attempt, 1 catch, 19 yards and a first down. Contested catch specialist. He went up one-on-one, and that's what Aaron Rodgers likes to do. He likes these matchups, 50-50 balls. And when you're using someone like Mike Williams, it's not 50-50. It's 70-30. It's 80-20. It's always in Mike Williams' favour. Brilliant catch, and at the right time, at the right place. I'm getting a little bit frustrated with this because we know that Tyler Conklin can catch the ball. But once again, Tyler Conklin only had 1 pass for 10 yards. In my opinion, drastically underused. Jeremy Rucker did have a chance for a touchdown in the end zone, but inexplicably didn't seem to try and catch the ball. I don't know what was right. He didn't extend his arms, or it just didn't look interested, which is not good enough. I'm fast losing patience with Jeremy Rucker, I have to say. On defence, unfortunately, DJ Mosley went out during the game. I think that possibly is an Achilles as well. I'm not sure. But Jamien Sherwood filled in for him, and he looked like an absolute stud. He was all over the field all day. And to be honest, we didn't really miss a beat from CJ Mosley. Although I think, as I've said before, his organisational skills, I think, were missed. But it was Will McDonald IV who stole the show. 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble and 3 tackles for loss and various pressures. Played his socks off. Very, very encouraging from Will McDonald. Like to see this. But if there was a definition of winning ugly, I think this would be in the running for a description, how we won. Such was the game and the way it was played. Had Will Levis not made such boneheaded plays earlier on, I think the score could have easily been the other way around. This early in the season, we really needed to come away with a .500 record. Job done. The Jets now face the Patriots at home at MetLife for the first time this season, and you can bet the home fans are going to make this as hostile as it gets to welcome the Patriots. If anyone fancies giving me free flights and a ticket, I'll gladly accept. But can I bring a friend too? Anyway, that's all we got time for. This is just doing a little one this week. The review of the game, which we would normally do on a Saturday. I'm hoping to have Dylan Terryman with me on Saturday, as well as others from the podcast. We will be reviewing briefly the Titans game and also the Patriots game. But that's all we've got time for today. And as always, go Jets.
Y'all know what to say. On 3. 1, 2, 3.